My child, listen to me with all your heart, for this message cannot be ignored. This morning, while you were unaware, a shadow of death passed close to your family. The enemy desired to take your son's life in a tragic way. But I, the Lord your God, intervened. I stretched out my hand and stopped what was meant to destroy him. I preserved him because his future carries a purpose greater than you can imagine. Do not dismiss these words. Do not let them pass as if they were nothing. For I am revealing to you what happened in the spiritual realm today. Had I not intervened, your mourning would have been filled with sorrow, tears, and despair. But I turned it into life, protection, and mercy. This is my urgent call. Hear my voice, understand my warning, and respond with faith. My beloved child, I come to you today with an urgent warning. Do not take these words lightly, for they carry the weight of eternity. While the world slept and the morning rose, a storm was already forming in the unseen realm. The enemy had plotted against your household. He had set his eyes upon your son, and he whispered death over him. But I, the Lord, who neither slumbers nor sleeps, saw what was hidden. I interrupted what was planned. I stood in the gap, and I declared, "Not this one, not today, not while my hand is upon him." This morning, as you went about your tasks, you did not see the danger passing by. You did not hear the footsteps of destruction approaching. But I heard, I saw, I acted. My angels surrounded your son and covered him in my shield of light. That is why you must hear me carefully. I preserved him because I have marked him for life, not death. I have written his days in my book, and no force of darkness has the power to erase what I have ordained. Do not ignore this warning. This is not just a testimony of what I did today. It is a reminder of the war that surrounds you every day. The enemy does not rest. He seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. But greater am I, the one who holds the keys of life and death. When I say live, no one can bring death. When I speak destiny, no one can bring failure. I am calling you into awareness, my child. Do not live as though nothing is happening in the unseen. Stand in prayer, stand in faith, stand in gratitude. For if you only knew how many arrows have been fired against your family, and how many times I have lifted my shield to stop them, you would fall on your knees and never cease to worship. I saved your son this morning, but my protection is not limited to a single day. It flows continually like a river, surrounding all who trust in me. This is why I say to you now, remain in my presence, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. The enemy's traps will be exposed, his schemes will collapse, and what he planned for harm will be turned for your good. I speak this to stir your spirit, to awaken you, and to remind you that your life and the life of your son are not accidents. They are assignments. They are carried in the palm of my hand. Every breath he takes is a testimony of my mercy. Every step he takes is covered by the blood of my covenant. This urgent warning is also a promise. What I saved him from today is only the beginning of the miracles you will see. Do not be silent about it. Declare it. Proclaim it. Testify of it. For when you speak what I have done, you strengthen the walls of protection around your home. Gratitude becomes a fortress. Praise becomes a weapon. And faith becomes a fire that no enemy can quench. Now I ask you, my child, if you receive this word, declare it openly. Do not keep it hidden in your heart alone. Write it down, confess it, speak it aloud. Let your own voice agree with mine, for when you align with my words, power is released in your atmosphere. Write this now in the comments as an act of faith. I believe God has saved my family from tragedy. And as you do, know that I am watching, I am listening, and I am sealing this covenant over your son's life. The enemy prepared a trap. My child, listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal to you is not a story, but a reality from the unseen world. The enemy does not rest. He studies, he waits, he watches for every weakness and every moment when your guard is low. His desire has always been the same: to strike at what you love most, to pierce your heart by attacking your children, to plant fear in your soul so that you doubt my goodness. This morning, before the sun rose, he laid a trap. He whispered into the darkness, "This is the day I will claim his son. This is the day I will bring sorrow to this house." He sought to orchestrate accidents, align circumstances, and use people and events to set in motion what looked like tragedy. He moved in silence, hidden from your eyes, but not from mine. I saw his plan, every detail of it. I saw how he intended to distract, how he hoped to deceive, how he wanted to steal life from your household. But I also saw the prayers that have been lifted, the tears you have shed in secret, the moments when you whispered my name at night, not knowing that each word was forming a wall of fire around your family. Yes, the enemy prepared a trap, but I am the Lord who exposes what is hidden in the shadows. Before his plan could unfold, I shattered it. Before his weapon could strike, I broke it in pieces. Before he could reach his hand toward your son, I pulled him back in chains. What he thought would bring death, I have already turned into life. What he thought would end in grief, I have rewritten into testimony. Understand this, my child. The battle is not only in the flesh, it is in the spirit. Every day, unseen wars are fought over your family. You walk into the day unaware of how close destruction comes, but my hand shields you. The trap that was laid was not small. It was designed to break you. It was meant to silence your faith and leave you crushed. Yet I did not allow it. I stepped in and declared, "This child belongs to me. His future is in my hands. His life is covered by my covenant." Do not underestimate the seriousness of what I saved you from. Had I not intervened, the story of your day would have been filled with mourning, yet my mercy said otherwise. My grace rewrote the script, and because I live, your son lives also. But I do not speak these things to only comfort you. I speak them to awaken you. The enemy still seeks to prepare traps. He still watches for opportunities. That is why I call you into deeper faith, into consistent prayer, into a life that remains under the shadow of my wings. For when you remain close to me, no snare of the fowler can capture you. When you abide in my presence, even traps prepared in secret become powerless. This is what I ask of you. Do not live blind to the reality of spiritual warfare. Walk in discernment. Train your heart to listen to my spirit. When I nudge you to pray, do not delay. When I place a burden on your heart for your child, do not ignore it. Those moments are not random. They are warnings. They are invitations to partner with me in protecting what the enemy seeks to destroy. And know this, every trap he prepares will collapse under his own feet. What was meant to destroy you will destroy his plans. What was meant to harm your son will turn into a testimony that strengthens your family's faith. For I am the God who not only cancels the schemes of the enemy, but uses them to glorify my name. Your son is not a target of death. He is a carrier of destiny. His steps are ordered by me, and I will not allow them to be cut short. The trap has been broken, and the path before him has been secured by my word. So rise in faith, my child. Lift your head. Do not fear the darkness, for my light goes before you. Do not tremble at the traps of the enemy, for I have already walked ahead and destroyed them. What remains for you is only to trust, to give thanks, and to proclaim the victory I have given. Now, I call you to seal this truth with your own voice. Write it in the comments as a declaration of faith. No trap of the enemy will touch my family, for God has already destroyed them. When you declare it, you agree with what I have spoken. When you write it, you testify before heaven and earth that you belong to me and that your household is under my covering. The guardian angel intervened. My child, open your heart wide, for I am about to uncover what your eyes could not see this morning. While you were unaware, while your son moved about his day as though it were any other, An angel was dispatched on assignment. This angel was not ordinary, for no angel I send is ever ordinary. He carried the weight of my word, the authority of my throne, and the urgency of a command spoken from my mouth. His mission was clear: intervene, protect, and preserve life. Do you know how close the enemy's shadow came? Do you know how near the snare was? The road was prepared for destruction, the air thick with schemes of darkness. But in the very moment the trap was about to close, my angel stepped in. With unseen hands, he redirected paths. With authority from on high, he blocked the strike of death. With a single motion, he shattered the chain meant to bind your son. Yes, my child, your son was saved not by chance, not by luck, not by coincidence, but by divine intervention. My angel, who has stood watch over your household, acted in obedience to my command. His sword of light clashed with the shadows. His wings shielded your son from impact, and his presence declared to the enemy, "This one is untouchable, for he is covered by the covenant of the Most High." Do not think lightly of the role of my angel. They are not figures of imagination. They are flames of fire, ministers sent forth to those who will inherit salvation. When you pray, when you worship, when you cry out my name, you activate a realm you cannot see. And this morning, those prayers built a wall. Those worships released authority. And my angel intervened on behalf of your son. Had you seen what unfolded in the unseen, your heart would tremble with awe. For in a single instant, what was meant to end in tragedy was turned into triumph. The angel stood between your son and the assignment of death, and the verdict was overturned. Life prevailed. Mercy triumphed. My covenant was reaffirmed. But hear me, I do not reveal this to you only to comfort you with the knowledge of protection. I reveal it to awaken you to the reality of my constant involvement. You are never alone. Your son is never unguarded. Every step he takes is accompanied by the watch of heaven. Though your eyes cannot see, though your ears cannot hear, there are more with you than against you. The armies of heaven outnumber the forces of darkness, and at the whisper of my command, they move with swiftness and power. Remember this: angels do not act by their own will. They move at my word. That is why I call you to remain close to me. For when you live in my presence, when you abide in my word, heaven responds to your life with protection beyond measure. My angels are positioned at your side, carrying out what I have spoken over you. Do not fall into fear when you hear of traps, of schemes, of threats, for I have already assigned guardians who stand on watch. This morning's intervention was not the first, nor will it be the last. Many times you have been spared without knowing. Many times your son has walked past destruction unaware, only because an angel redirected his steps. And now, my child, I ask you, will you trust me deeper, knowing how much I have already done in silence? Will you walk in gratitude, not waiting for disaster to remind you of my mercy? Will you lift your voice in thanksgiving for what I prevent before you even see it? For this is the life of faith, to believe not only in what your eyes witness, but in what heaven has already accomplished unseen. Lift your head, for I have commanded my angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They lift you up, they shield you, they surround your house with fire. Your son walks under their watchful gaze, not because of who he is in himself, but because I have marked him, and my covenant has sealed him. This, my child, is why I saved him today. This is why tragedy turned into testimony, and this is why I call you now to respond, not with fear, but with faith. For the same God who sent his angel this morning will continue to send them tomorrow, and the day after, and until the end of your days. Now seal this truth with your declaration. Write it as a testimony, as a mark of faith, as a proclamation that aligns with heaven. God's angels guard my family, and no weapon of the enemy can touch us. When you write this, you release agreement into the atmosphere. You join your voice to mine, and you declare to every force of darkness that your house is covered, protected, and preserved by the Lord of hosts, the invisible hand of God. My child, hear me well, for I am unveiling mysteries you have not known. The world looks at what the eyes can see, but my hand often moves where no eye is watching. Many call it chance, others call it luck, but you must understand, it is I, the Lord, who orchestrates, who arranges, who blocks, and who opens. It was not coincidence that your son was spared this morning. It was my invisible hand at work. There are moments when you think you are walking alone, yet I am arranging every step. There are times when you believe you are unprotected, yet my hand is shielding you from arrows you never saw coming. My hand is the force that turns the steering wheel just in time, the voice that whispers caution in the heart, the unseen presence that delays you so the trap is missed. And this morning, it was my hand that intervened for your son. I reached into the course of events and shifted what the enemy had designed. He thought his net was hidden, but I tore it apart. He thought destruction was certain, but I removed it from the path. While men sleep, I neither slumber nor rest. While darkness plots, I shine my light. While death stretches its hand, I extend mine stronger still. Do you know what this means, my child? It means that even when you do not pray the perfect words, even when you are not aware of the exact danger, I still move on your behalf. My covenant with you is not weak. My faithfulness does not waver. I hold your son as surely as I hold the stars in place. And just as no man can pluck a star from the sky, no enemy can pluck your child from my hand. The invisible hand of God is not a figure of speech. It is the very reality that surrounds your life. It is the shield that turns away sickness, the wall that blocks destruction, the covering that confuses your enemies. It is the hand that lifts when you are low, the hand that steadies when you are shaken, the hand that delivers when all seems lost. Consider this. How many times have you been delayed, frustrated, or redirected without understanding why? Did you not know those delays were my hand removing you from danger? How many times did you wonder why certain doors closed? Did you not see that my hand was guarding you from destruction that would have followed? The same is true of your son this very day. He walks under my unseen guidance. His path is not random. It is designed, adjusted, and covered by my hand. I tell you now, had my hand not moved, the enemy's plot would have succeeded. But I refused him access. I silenced his voice. I broke his assignment. My hand intercepted what was meant to strike. And now I declare to you, what was planned for death has been rewritten into life. What was meant for grief has been turned into testimony. This is why I urge you, do not live as though I am distant. My hand is close. My presence is near. Every moment of your life is surrounded by my covering. To doubt is to walk in blindness. To believe is to walk in victory. Look not at the chaos of the world, but at the constancy of my hand. Nations rise and fall. Storms come and go, but my hand remains steady, strong, unshakable. Your son is marked by destiny, and my hand has sealed his future. Do not fear what you hear from the world. Do not tremble at the threats of the enemy, for my hand is greater than all. I hold the breath of kings, the course of rivers, the movement of time itself. How much more do I hold the life of the one you love? Yes, my child, today you witnessed the fruit of unseen intervention, but this is not an isolated moment. This is the pattern of my love, the rhythm of my mercy, the faithfulness of my covenant. You are never alone. He is never unprotected. The invisible hand of God is always at work. Now I call you to respond. Do not keep silent. Speak your agreement with what I have done. Seal this truth with faith and gratitude. Write these words now in the comments as a declaration. The hand of God is over my family, guiding and protecting us every day. When you write it, you are not merely typing letters. You are declaring into the atmosphere that you belong to me, that your house is under my covenant, that my hand rests upon you. This declaration builds walls, releases angels, and silences the voice of the accuser. So rise in gratitude, lift your heart in worship, and remember always, my invisible hand is not only over your son, it is over you, your household, and every promise I have spoken. Your son was marked to live, my child. Hear these words with all the weight of your soul, for they carry eternal truth. The enemy marked your son for death, but I, the Lord, have marked him for life. From the moment he drew his first breath, my seal was placed upon him. Before his name was spoken on earth, his name was already known in heaven. His existence is not accidental. It is purposeful, intentional, and filled with destiny. This morning, when the shadow of death reached out to claim him, my voice thundered louder. This one shall not die, but live, and declare the works of the Lord. That decree is unshakable. No plot, no curse, no plan of man or demon can reverse what I have spoken. Life is his portion, and no grave will swallow what I have destined to rise. Do not forget this. The enemy always targets what carries promise. He did not attempt to harm your son because of weakness. He targeted him because of strength, because of potential, because of the divine future written over his life. Your son carries light that darkness cannot stand. He carries calling that hell fears. That is why death stretched its hand toward him. But my covenant is stronger than any curse, and my mark over him is eternal. Yes, your son was marked to live, and this mark is not a fragile blessing. It is a seal of fire, pressed upon him by my Spirit. It is the same seal that preserved Moses when Pharaoh ordered the death of children. It is the same seal that covered David when Goliath threatened him. It is the same seal that preserved Daniel in the lion's den and protected the three in the fiery furnace. My mark of life is the shield that no weapon can penetrate. Child, I want you to understand the depth of this truth. Every breath your son takes is evidence of my mercy. Every step he walks is a testimony of my plan. His laughter, his words, his dreams, all are proof that my mark is upon him. You see an ordinary boy, but I see a chosen vessel. You see a fragile human, but I see a warrior in formation, a messenger of my light, a carrier of my promises to future generations. The attempt to steal his life was an attempt to silence destiny, but I did not allow it, for I am the author of life, and I alone decide the number of his days. He will not leave this world 1 second before the fulfillment of his assignment. He will grow, he will rise, he will walk in the purpose I have set before him. His story will not be one of early death, but of fulfilled destiny. And I tell you this not only for comfort, but for action. For when I mark a child to live, I also call the parents to nurture, to guide, to protect spiritually. You must cover him with prayer. You must speak life over him daily. You must remind him, even as he grows, that his life belongs not to chance, not to the world, but to me, the living God. Your words will water the seed I have planted. Your prayers will strengthen the shield I have raised. Your faith will align with the destiny I have declared. Take heart, for what the enemy feared is what I will bring to pass. He feared the calling on your son's life, and that calling will unfold. He feared the testimony your son would carry, and that testimony will shake others. He feared the future written over him, and that future will shine brighter than any shadow. My child, you must walk in confidence, not fear. Fear looks at the enemy's threats. Faith looks at my promises. Fear imagines loss. Faith declares life. And I say to you, your son is marked to live. Hold on to that truth and let it be the anchor of your heart. Whenever doubt comes, declare it. Whenever fear whispers, proclaim it. Whenever the world shakes, stand on it. My son shall live, for God has marked him with life. Now I call you to act. Seal this truth with your declaration, not in silence, but openly, boldly, with the voice of faith. Write this now in the comments as your testimony. My son is marked to live, and his destiny will be fulfilled by God. When you declare it, you are not only confessing words, you are aligning with my eternal decree. You are agreeing with heaven and announcing to the powers of darkness that your son belongs to me. This act of faith strengthens the shield around him and multiplies the grace over your household. So rejoice, for death has been defeated. Rejoice, for destiny has prevailed. Rejoice, for your son lives, and he will carry my name into the future. My child, I have heard every prayer you whispered, every tear you shed, every word you spoke in secret when no one else was listening. You wondered at times if your prayers reached me. You asked yourself if your tears had meaning. You questioned whether I was paying attention. Today I tell you with authority and with love, your prayers were not in vain. Do you see what happened this morning? The very words you prayed in nights past, when you thought no one heard, stood before me as incense. Your cries, even the ones filled with weakness, reached my throne. Every whispered, "Lord, protect my son," was written in my book. And when the enemy stretched out his hand to harm, those prayers became a shield. Those tears became weapons. Those words became walls of fire around your child. You did not realize the power of your persistence, but I did. You did not see angels moving at the sound of your intercession, but I saw. You did not feel the shift when you prayed, but heaven moved. My child, you must know, prayer is never wasted. Even the prayers you forgot, I remember. Even the petitions you thought were too small, I treasured. Even the moments you doubted, I answered with mercy. This morning's miracle was not random. It was the harvest of seeds you planted long ago. You may have prayed with weary lips, but those words carried eternal weight. The enemy despises prayer because he knows its power. He trembles when my children bow their heads, for he cannot withstand the fire that rises when faith speaks. Understand this truth. The safety of your son was not only a result of my sovereign will, but also of your partnership with me in prayer. I allowed you to participate in this victory. Your intercession activated angelic movement. Your faith connected with my hand. Together, heaven and earth agreed, and the verdict was life, not death. Do not despise the moments of intercession. Do not neglect the call to pray. Each prayer builds a fortress. Each declaration raises a standard. Each tear waters the ground for miracles. You may not always see the immediate result, but every prayer is stored in my presence, waiting for the appointed time. This morning was such a time. The moment when prayers you thought were forgotten rose up to speak life over your son. And I tell you, my child, continue. Do not stop praying now that you have seen deliverance. Prayer is not just a rescue in crisis. It is a covering for the future. The enemy does not give up. He waits, he plots, he tries again. But prayer keeps you one step ahead. Prayer keeps your son hidden under my wings. Prayer keeps the shield strong and the fire burning. Let this victory be your proof. When you pray, heaven listens. When you call, I answer. When you cry, I move. You do not need perfect words. You only need a surrendered heart. You do not need long speeches. You need honest cries. For I do not measure prayers by eloquence, but by faith. And your faith has spoken louder than your fears. Now I invite you to take this moment and give thanks openly. Do not be silent about what I have done. Testify of my goodness. Seal this miracle with gratitude, for thanksgiving multiplies blessing. Write this in the comments now as a declaration and as a seed of faith. My prayers are not in vain. God hears me and answers with power. And I ask those who truly believe, those who have seen the hand of God in their lives, to go further. Leave a super thank of 100 as a prophetic act of gratitude. It is not just a gift. It is a declaration that you recognize my hand, that you honor the miracle, that you believe in the power of sowing into testimony. When you give thanks in this way, you open the door for more miracles, more protection, more breakthroughs. Do not withhold gratitude. A thankful heart multiplies favor. What you celebrate increases. What you honor expands. And today, you have every reason to give thanks, for I have shown you that no prayer is wasted, no tear ignored, no word forgotten. Rise in faith, my child. Keep praying, keep believing, keep thanking, for I will continue to show you that prayer changes everything, and your family will walk under the covering of answered prayers all the days of your life. What the enemy wanted to steal, my child, you must understand something deep and serious. The enemy never attacks where there is nothing to gain. He does not waste his weapons on emptiness. He seeks to destroy what carries value, what carries destiny, what carries light. That is why he set his eyes on your son. He wanted to steal what I planted in him. He wanted to silence the future that I ordained. He wanted to cut short the story before it could be told. This morning, his intent was clear. He came to steal joy from your house, to replace laughter with mourning, to exchange peace for chaos. He came to rob you of hope, to strike at the one you love most so that your faith would collapse. He thought that if he touched your son, he could touch your heart. And if he touched your heart, he could weaken your worship. That was his plan. That was his desire. But hear me, I did not permit it. I drew the line and declared, "Thus far you may come, but no further." The enemy wanted to steal your son's breath, but I filled his lungs with life. He wanted to steal his future, but I strengthened his path. He wanted to steal his calling, but I confirmed it with fire. What the enemy wanted to steal, I have preserved. Do you see, my child, the seriousness of this battle? The enemy is not after toys, possessions, or passing things. He is after destiny. He is after legacy. He is after soul. He fears what your son will become. He fears the testimony that will flow from your family. He fears the generations that will be changed because of your faith. That is why he came to steal. But what the enemy wants is not greater than what I have spoken. He is a thief, but I am the giver. He is a liar, but I am the truth. He is limited, but I am eternal. His schemes are fragile compared to my word, and his power collapses under my hand. This morning was not only about survival, it was about proof. Proof that I am stronger. Proof that my covenant is unbreakable. Proof that no thief can rob what I guard. I say to you now, your son's life is secure. His future is guarded. His destiny will not be stolen. Remember what I have promised. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you may have life, and life more abundantly. This abundant life is your portion. This abundant life is your son's inheritance. I will not allow the thief to take what belongs to me. You may ask, Lord, why would the enemy even try? Because he is desperate. He knows his time is short. He knows that when I raise up your son, chains will break, lives will be changed, testimonies will multiply. He knows that through your family, light will shine into dark places. And so he tries, but he cannot succeed. For my word stands forever. My child, let this awaken your spirit. Do not live unaware. Do not treat lightly the destiny I have placed in your household. Stand in prayer, stand in worship, stand in faith. Guard the treasure I have given you with vigilance, for the enemy is real, but so is my protection, and my protection always prevails. Now I ask you to respond. Do not remain silent in the face of this truth. Speak it, write it, declare it as a testimony. Let your voice become a weapon against the thief. Write this in the comments now as your declaration. The enemy cannot steal my destiny or my family, for God has preserved us. And to those whose hearts burn with gratitude, to those who truly recognize the weight of this miracle, I call you to honor me with a prophetic act of thanksgiving. Leave a super thank of 100 as a seed, as a sign that you acknowledge what I have done. When you sow into testimony, you open the gates for multiplication. What you thank me for, I increase. What you honor, I expand. Do not let the enemy steal your gratitude. Celebrate the victory. Testify of my goodness. Show that you value what I preserved. For the thief wanted to rob you, but I gave you more. He wanted to silence you, but I gave you a song. He wanted to break you, but I gave you strength. Rejoice, my child, for what the enemy wanted to steal is now secured in my hands forever. The sign of deliverance. My child, hear my words with reverence and attention, for I am revealing to you what many fail to see. When I move, I do not leave my children without evidence. I give signs, tokens of deliverance, so that you may know that it was I who intervened, I who saved, I who delivered. This morning, when death sought to come near your son, I not only pushed it back, but I left behind a sign, a reminder that my hand was upon him. You may not have noticed it immediately, but look deeper. Consider how events align. Think of the unusual delays, the sudden change of plans, the unexpected pause. These are not random. They are signs of deliverance. That small hesitation, that gentle nudge, that coincidence you brushed aside. Those were my fingerprint. I marked the moment so that when you look back, you will say, "This was the Lord. He was here. He moved for us." Do not dismiss the little things. The sign may not always be dramatic, but it is divine. A closed door that spared you from harm is a sign. A sudden feeling of caution is a sign. A child's unexpected laughter after tears is a sign. A peace that covers your heart in the middle of chaos is a sign. These are not accidents. They are messages, reminders, and confirmations that I am with you. This morning, my deliverance was not silent. It carried a seal. It carried a witness. I want you to see it, to acknowledge it, and to testify of it. For when you recognize the sign, your faith grows stronger. When you honor the sign, you honor the one who sent it. And when you testify of the sign, others receive hope for their own deliverance. My child, I never move without purpose. I never deliver without leaving evidence. Look at the story of Israel. When I brought them out of Egypt, I gave them the sign of the blood on the doorposts. When I parted the Red Sea, I left dry ground as proof. When I fed them in the wilderness, I sent manna as a sign. When I raised my son from the grave, the empty tomb became the everlasting sign of victory. In the same way, I have placed a sign in your own life this very day. Do not let doubt steal it from you. Do not let the enemy whisper that it was nothing. The sign is real, the deliverance is real, and my love for you is undeniable. I gave you this sign so that you would never forget, so that when trials come again, you will remember. The same God who delivered us then will deliver us now. Your son lives today, not by chance, but by my decree. And every moment of life that follows is a sign of deliverance. His heartbeat is a sign. His future is a sign. His very existence is a declaration that I am faithful, that I am present, that I am the God who saves. My child, do not hide this sign. Speak of it, share it, testify of it. Let it be written in your home. Let it be spoken in your prayers. Let it be declared in your worship. The sign of deliverance is not meant to be forgotten. It is meant to strengthen you, to protect you from doubt, and to silence the accuser. Now, I call you to respond with faith and boldness. Write this in the comments as your declaration. I see the signs of God's deliverance in my life, and I will never forget His mercy. And to those whose hearts are stirred with gratitude, I invite you to seal this moment with a prophetic act of thanksgiving. Leave a super thank of 100 as your offering of faith, not because I need it, but because gratitude opens doors. When you honor the sign, I multiply the blessings. When you sow in thanksgiving, I pour out more deliverance, more protection, more breakthroughs. The enemy wanted to leave you with sorrow, but I have left you with a sign of victory. The enemy wanted you to see loss, but I have given you evidence of life. The enemy wanted to silence your faith, but I have given you a testimony that will echo for generations. Rejoice, my child. Lift your voice. Celebrate the sign of deliverance. For what I did today is proof that I will do it again tomorrow, and again the day after, until every promise I have spoken is fulfilled. My child, lift your eyes and listen closely. for I am about to reveal a truth that goes beyond this single day. What I did for your son this morning is not only about him, it is about a covering that extends through your entire lineage. When I place my hand of protection over a family, I do not guard just one life, I establish a generational shield. This is the covenant I make with those who trust in me. I will bless your children and your children's children, and my favor will not depart from your house. Oh, this morning, when I turned away death, I was not only saving one child from tragedy, I was affirming the covenant over your bloodline. I was declaring to the enemy, this family is mine, this household is sealed, this generation is protected. Do you see, my child? The miracle you witnessed is bigger than the moment. It is a prophetic declaration that your entire lineage is under my watch. The enemy always tries to attack through generations. He desires to repeat cycles of pain, cycles of poverty, cycles of sickness, cycles of premature death. He looks for patterns in families and tries to establish curses that move from parents to children, from children to grandchildren. But when I step in, those cycles are broken. My covenant interrupts every curse. My blood speaks louder than the voice of generational darkness. Your son lives today because I intervened. But even more than that, his children will be covered, and his children's children will walk under the same shield. The enemy wanted to plant fear in your lineage, but I have planted faith. He wanted to plant sorrow, but I have planted songs of victory. He wanted to mark your bloodline with loss, but I have marked it with life everlasting. Do not underestimate the power of generational protection. When Abraham believed me, I extended blessing through Isaac, through Jacob, through Israel. When David trusted me, I preserved his descendants, even when they stumbled, because of the covenant I made with him. And now, because you have lifted prayers, because you have trusted in me, I declare, this family will not be a family of tragedy, but a family of testimony. This lineage will not be known for destruction, but for destiny. Your son carries the mark of life, and that mark will flow to his children. My angels will watch over his steps, just as they have watched over yours. And in the years to come, when he testifies of what happened on this day, he will remind his children that they are also under my covenant. Generational curses are broken, and generational blessings are established. My child, understand the weight of this moment. You are standing at a turning point for your family. What the enemy wanted to establish as a legacy of pain, I have overturned into a legacy of protection. Where the enemy wanted to repeat history with sorrow, I have written a new history of joy. Where the enemy wanted cycles of loss, I have established cycles of blessing. Do not think this is small. Do not dismiss it as one miracle among many. This is a foundational act, a cornerstone laid for generations to come. Your grandchildren will walk in safety because of what I did today. Your descendants will know my name because of the covenant I have sealed with you. So rise in faith and live with confidence. Speak blessings over your children daily. Declare life over your family. Pray not only for today, but for tomorrow. Not only for your son, but for the generations that will follow. Your prayers are shaping a legacy. Your faith is writing a story, and my hand is protecting every chapter. Now I call you to respond, not in silence, but in declaration. Write this in the comments now as your testimony of faith. My family is covered by God's protection for generations. And to those who truly believe in the power of covenant, I invite you to honor this moment with a prophetic act of gratitude. Leave a super thank of 100 as your seed of faith. When you sow in thanksgiving, you are not only thanking me for today's deliverance, you are investing in the future of your bloodline. You are declaring, Lord, I believe this covenant will flow to my children and beyond. Gratitude is a weapon, my child. It multiplies blessings. It preserves promises. It seals what I have spoken. Do not let this moment pass without responding. For today, I have not only saved your son, I have established protection over your entire lineage. Rejoice, for your family is marked. Rejoice, for your generations are secured. Rejoice, for my covenant is everlasting, and my protection will never depart from your house. A new purpose for your son. My child, listen closely, for I am not only the God who saves from death, I am the God who gives purpose after deliverance. When I rescue a life, I do not do it without reason. I preserved your son this morning, not merely so that he could continue as before, but because I have set apart a new purpose for him. His survival is not random. It is a divine assignment unfolding before your eyes. You may think of this as only a narrow escape, but I tell you, it is far more than that. This was a divine redirection. I saved his life because his days are not yet fulfilled. He has been spared for a reason greater than his own understanding, greater than yours, greater than anything the enemy feared. That reason is my plan, my calling, my purpose written in eternity before time began. Consider the stories written in my word. Moses was spared from Pharaoh's decree because he was called to lead Israel out of Egypt. Joseph was preserved in a pit and a prison because he was destined to save nations during famine. David was delivered from lions, bears, and giants because I had crowned him as king. Every act of deliverance was connected to purpose, and your son is no exception. This morning, when my hand shielded him, it was not only about life preserved, it was about destiny preserved. He has been chosen as a vessel of light. He has been marked to walk in paths that will influence others, to speak words that will heal, to carry faith where darkness seeks to reign. His life carries meaning that you cannot yet see, but I see it clearly, for I am the one who wrote it. Do not measure your son by his current stage. Do not look at his weaknesses, his struggles, or his immaturity, and think that purpose cannot dwell there. I specialize in raising greatness out of the ordinary. What seems small in your eyes is great in mine. The child you see today is the instrument I am shaping for tomorrow. Understand this: purpose is always tested. That is why the enemy tried to destroy him. But if death could not touch him, then destiny cannot be denied. His life is now a living testimony of my power, and this testimony will grow stronger as he walks forward. As his parent, I call you to partner with me in this new purpose. Speak words of life into him. Do not call him by his mistakes. Call him by his destiny. Do not see him only as your child. See him as my servant, my warrior, my messenger. Teach him that his survival is not ordinary, that he walks under the shadow of divine appointment. Tell him, you were saved for a reason. You live because God has a purpose for you. And do not fear if you cannot see all the detail. You do not need to understand every step. What you must do is trust, guide, and cover him. I will unfold the rest in time. Just as I revealed Moses' calling at the burning bush, just as I revealed Joseph's destiny in dreams, just as I revealed Samuel's assignment as a boy in the temple, I will reveal your son's calling when the time is right. For now, rejoice. For now, nurture. For now, build his faith. He will come to know that he was not spared for nothing, but for something greater than himself. His life will touch lives. His story will inspire faith. His testimony will break chains, and through him, my glory will be seen. This is why I saved him. This is why I fought for him. This is why I shielded him from death this morning, because his future belongs to me, and through his life, I will accomplish things beyond what you have imagined. So, my child, rise in gratitude. See not only the miracle of protection, but the promise of purpose. Train your eyes to look forward with expectation, not backward with fear. What the enemy tried to end, I have only just begun. Now seal this word with your declaration of faith. Write this in the comments boldly, as a testimony of agreement with heaven. My son has a divine purpose, and his destiny will be fulfilled by God. See, when you declare this, you are not speaking empty words. You are aligning with eternal truth. You are proclaiming to heaven and to earth that you accept, believe, and embrace the calling over his life. And in doing so, you strengthen the shield of destiny I have placed over him. Rejoice, for what the enemy tried to end has become the beginning of a new purpose. Rejoice, for your son's life will echo with meaning and impact. Rejoice, for I am the God who not only saves but also assigns, who not only preserves but also appoints, who not only delivers but also sends forth with mission. My child, hear me, for I am about to show you a mystery that many overlook. Gratitude is not simply a feeling, it is a key that unlocks the doors of heaven. When I deliver, when I protect, when I save, I do not only look for your relief, I look for your thanksgiving. Gratitude is the response that multiplies blessings. It is the fragrance that rises to my throne and causes the heavens to open wider over your life. Think of this. I preserved your son this morning. My hand swept away death. My angel stood guard. My covenant held strong. This miracle was not small. It was not ordinary. It was not coincidence. It was my direct intervention. And now I ask, will you give thanks? Will you lift your voice not only in private, but in public? Will you acknowledge openly that it was I, the Lord your God, who spared him? Gratitude has power, my child. When you give thanks, you shift the atmosphere around you. When you give thanks, you remind the enemy that he has already lost. When you give thanks, you seal the miracle so that it cannot be stolen by doubt or fear. Thanksgiving is not an afterthought. It is warfare. It is praise that silences the accuser. Consider the lepers in the days of my son. 10 were healed, but only 1 returned with gratitude. And to that one, Jesus declared, "Your faith has made you whole." Gratitude brought not only healing, but wholeness. Gratitude completed the miracle. Gratitude released a deeper blessing. Do you see? Gratitude opens heaven. It releases provision. It multiplies favor. It secures protection. That is why I call you now to be intentional. Do not treat this morning's deliverance as ordinary. Do not move on without lifting thanksgiving. For when you stop to honor me for what I have done, I prepare even greater things for you. My child, gratitude is more than words. It is a posture of the heart. It is a way of living. When you wake in the morning and say, "Thank you, Lord, for another day," you set a shield over your house. When you look at your son and whisper, "Thank you, Lord, for his life," you strengthen the covering I have placed over him. Gratitude is the soil in which miracles grow. Do not let the enemy silence your thanksgiving. He wants you to focus on fear, on problems, on what you do not yet see. He wants you to complain, to doubt, to forget. But I call you to remember, to rejoice, to proclaim. For every time you thank me, you weaken his grip and increase your shield. This morning's miracle is not complete until it is covered with gratitude. And gratitude is not complete until it is expressed. Speak it, sing it, write it, declare it. Let your home echo with thanksgiving. Let your children hear your words of praise. Let your prayers overflow with thanks. For when gratitude rises, heaven pours out more. My child, gratitude also unlocks financial blessing, emotional healing, and spiritual authority. A grateful heart attracts favor because it recognizes the source of all things. Those who give thanks walk in abundance because they never close the door of blessing. And I want you to walk in that abundance. I want your house to overflow. I want your son to inherit a legacy not of fear, but of gratitude that continually opens heaven. Now I call you to act. Write this in the comments as a declaration of faith and gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for saving my family. My gratitude opens heaven. Let these words be your testimony, and let them rise not only here, but in every corner of your life. For gratitude will guard you, gratitude will lift you, and gratitude will open the heavens over your son's destiny. My child, listen to me with attention, for the miracle you receive today is not the end, it is the beginning. When I stretch out my hand to deliver, I am not only rescuing you from danger, I am inviting you into a new season. After the miracle, there is a responsibility. After the deliverance, there is a calling. After the protection, there is a deeper walk with me. This morning, I saved your son. The shadow of death passed by, but it could not enter. The snare was set, but it could not close. The enemy plotted, but I dismantled his plan. Now the question remains, how will you walk after this miracle? Will you simply rejoice for a moment and then return to life as usual? Or will you step into a greater commitment, a deeper trust, a stronger faith? Every miracle I release is an invitation. When I delivered Israel from Egypt, it was not simply to free them from slavery. It was to bring them into covenant, to bring them into the promised land, to make them a people who would walk with me. When I spared David from Goliath, it was not just to save his life. It was to raise him as a king, a shepherd of nations. When I raised Lazarus from the tomb, it was not only to restore breath. It was to reveal my glory and draw many to faith. And so it is with you, my child. Your son's deliverance is not only about today's survival, it is about tomorrow's testimony. It is about shaping your family into a house of faith. It is about awakening your spirit to the reality that you are chosen, set apart, and called to walk in greater intimacy with me. After the miracle comes the choice. Will you choose to live with a heart that remembers? Will you mark this day as holy, a day of remembrance? Or will you allow the busyness of life to drown out the voice of gratitude? Do not forget what I have done. Do not treat lightly the protection you have received, for remembrance fuels faith, and faith secures future victories. After the miracle also comes warfare. The enemy, though defeated, will not cease to plot. He will try to return with lies, with fear, with new traps. That is why I call you to remain vigilant. The same prayers that brought deliverance must continue. The same faith that protected your son must remain steadfast. Do not lower your guard, for the enemy prowls, but take courage, for I am with you always, and every battle you face, I will turn into testimony. After the miracle comes testimony. Do not hide what I have done. Speak it to others. Tell your family, your friends, your community. Let the world know, the Lord saved my son. The Lord delivered my house. The Lord is faithful. For testimony multiplies miracles. When you share what I have done, you ignite faith in others, and my power is released again and again. After the miracle comes destiny. Your son's life is not his own. It belongs to me. I preserved him because I have written a story for him that must unfold. Guide him in this truth. Teach him that his survival is not ordinary, but divine. Show him that he was saved for a purpose, and that purpose must be fulfilled. For his future will not only bless him, it will bless many. So I say to you, my child, do not stop at rejoicing. Move forward into faith, into vigilance, into testimony, into purpose. What comes after the miracle is a journey of transformation. I am not done with you. I am not done with your family. What I began today will continue until the fullness of my promises is revealed. Now, I call you to seal this moment with your own declaration. Write this in the comments as your act of faith. I will not forget what God has done. After this miracle, I will walk in faith and purpose. Let these words rise like incense before me. Let them stand as proof that you will not treat lightly the deliverance you have received. For I, the Lord, am faithful to continue the work I have begun. My child, draw near now, for I am wrapping you and your family in words of fire, words that carry weight in the Spirit. What happened this morning was not chance. It was the result of my covenant, my angels, and my mercy. But hear me well, the battle is not finished. The enemy will continue to look for openings. That is why I am calling you into a prophetic prayer of covering. These words are not empty. They are shields. They are weapons forged in heaven. And when you declare them with faith, they create barriers that no enemy can cross. Say with me now, Lord, I thank you for saving my son. I thank you for breaking the snare of death. I thank you for proving that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I declare today that my house belongs to the Lord. I declare that my children are covered by the blood of Jesus. I declare that angels surround our steps, guarding us from every trap. I declare that fear has no place here, sorrow has no place here, tragedy has no place here. Only life, only joy, only peace, only purpose shall dwell in this house. In the name of Jesus, amen. When you pray like this, my child, the heavens respond. Angels take their place at your side. Walls of fire surround your home. The enemy trembles, for he cannot resist the authority that comes when you align your words with mine. This is not ritual, it is warfare. This is not superstition, it is covenant. Prayer spoken in faith is a decree that shakes the unseen realm. Every morning, rise with words of covering. Speak life over your children. Speak blessing over your home. Do not wait for tragedy to remind you. Stay ahead of it by declaring daily that I am Lord over your family. When you rise in the morning, say, Lord, today my family walks under your covering. When you go to sleep at night, whisper, Lord, I trust that angels stand guard around us. These prayers are like oil. They keep the flame burning. They keep the protection alive. The prophetic prayer of covering is not only for your son, it is for generations. As you speak, you are sowing seeds into your lineage. Your children's children will benefit from the words you declare today. For every prayer rises like incense before me, and I preserve them in my presence as a testimony for your family. My child, I saved your son this morning, but I want you to live with the confidence that it was not a one-time rescue. I am a continual refuge. I am a daily shield. I am an everlasting fortress. When you pray, you acknowledge that reality, and you pull heaven into your atmosphere. Do not let fear take root again. Fear says, what if it happens tomorrow? Faith says, God will cover me tomorrow as he did today. Fear imagines loss. Faith declares victory. Fear weakens your heart. Faith strengthens your shield. Choose faith, my child. Let your mouth overflow with decrees of life. For your tongue carries the power of death and life. And when you choose life, heaven agrees with you. Now I call you to action. Do not remain silent. Seal this prophetic covering with your own declaration. Write this in the comments as an act of faith and warfare. My family is covered by the blood of Jesus. No weapon will touch us. And let this not be the last time. Let your home become a house of decrees. Let your prayers echo in your walls until even your children learn to speak them. For I tell you this, when you cover your family with prayer, you are clothing them with armor. And with that armor, the enemy's weapons shatter before they can strike. Rejoice, my child, for you are not defenseless. You are not exposed. You are covered, sealed, and secured under my mighty hand. My child, the words I have spoken to you are not imagination, nor are they coincidence. What you have lived and what you are hearing now carry confirmation from heaven itself. I do not speak in vain. I do not act without evidence. I move, and I mark my movement with signs so that you may know without doubt. This was the hand of the Lord. This morning, when your son was spared from tragedy, heaven left you confirmation. Some you noticed, others you overlooked. Think back. Why was there a sudden delay? Why did a small change of plan redirect his steps? Why did peace come over your heart you did not even know danger was near? These were not random. They were confirmations that I was already working. My child, heaven always confirms my word. When I told Noah to build the ark, I confirmed it with the flood that came. When I promised Abraham a son, I confirmed it with Isaac's cry. When I sent Moses to Pharaoh, I confirmed it with signs and wonders. When I declared my son as Savior, I confirmed it with the empty tomb. And now, in your own life, I am confirming my covenant with deliverance, with peace, with a testimony that cannot be denied. Do not let doubt erase what heaven has confirmed. The enemy will try to whisper, maybe it was just luck. Maybe nothing really happened. Maybe you are exaggerating. These are lies. The truth is this: your son's life was saved because I acted. Heaven itself bears witness. Angels saw it. Demons trembled at it. The throne of God decreed it. and now you must stand on it. Confirmation is given so that faith will not waver. I want you to walk forward with confidence, not fear. I want you to raise your head and declare, "The Lord has done this, and no one can undo it." The confirmation is the peace you feel even now, the shift you sense in your spirit, the testimony that stirs within you. It is heaven's way of saying, "Yes, this is true. Yes, you are covered. Yes, your family is preserved." My child, I know the weight of fear that tried to grip you before. I know the questions that raced through your mind. What if something happens? What if I lose him? What if tragedy comes? But I remind you, heaven has already spoken. The confirmation has already been given. Your son lives because I said so. His days are preserved because I declared it. His future is secured because I sealed it. Walk boldly then. Testify with confidence. Pray with assurance. Live with joy. For heaven's confirmation is not fragile. It is eternal. It is written in the book of life. It is sealed by the blood of the Lamb. It is enforced by the armies of angels. Do not be silent about this confirmation. Share it. Declare it. Let others know that the God of heaven is not distant, but near, active, alive, and powerful. Your testimony will be heaven's confirmation for someone else. As you speak, faith will rise in them. As you write, chains will break. As you proclaim, miracles will multiply. Now I call you, my child, to act in faith. Write this in the comments as your declaration. Heaven has confirmed my miracle. God saved my family, and I believe it. This declaration seals your testimony and echoes heaven's confirmation. Do not withhold it. Do not let the moment pass. Stand boldly in agreement with what heaven has already declared. Rejoice, my child, for the confirmation has been given. What I have spoken, I have done. What I have done, no one can undo. What I have confirmed, no one can deny. My child, this is the final word I speak in this message, but it is not the end of my work in your life. I saved your son this morning. I shielded your family. I broke the trap of the enemy, and I have declared that your lineage is covered for generations. But now I call you to take a step of faith and action. Do not keep silent about what I have done. Do not hide the testimony I have given you. Faith that is alive must be expressed, and gratitude that is true must be shared. The enemy tried to silence you through fear and sorrow, but I have given you victory and joy. Now, lift your voice, testify, proclaim, live boldly in the light of what I have done. This message came to you not by accident. It was ordained. You heard these words because I wanted your faith to be awakened, your spirit to be strengthened, and your testimony to be multiplied. I call you now to respond with action. Do not let this message pass as one more moment of inspiration. Seal it, strengthen it, share it. Write in the comments your declaration of faith. I choose faith. I choose life. My family belongs to God. As you declare this, you are not only sealing your own testimony, but you are building a wall of agreement with thousands of others who walk in the same faith. Your words join with theirs, and together they rise as a great chorus of victory before my throne. But I also call you to a step of unity and obedience. This message is being released through a channel that I am using as a trumpet of heaven. Just as prophets once lifted their voices in the wilderness, these words are going forth to awaken, to warn, and to bless. And now I ask you, will you stand with this trumpet? Will you help lift its sound until it reaches every corner of the earth? There is a goal set before you, to reach 100,000 souls connected, 100,000 hearts aligned, 100,000 voices united in faith. This is not about numbers, it is about souls, about a great harvest of faith, about multiplying testimonies across nations. Every subscription is not just a click, it is a commitment, it is an act of unity, it is a way of saying, I believe this word must go further. So I call you now, subscribe to this channel. Do not delay, do not ignore, do not postpone. Your subscription is a seed that helps carry this message of deliverance to thousands more who need to hear it. And as you take this action, I will honor your faith. For those who partner with what I am doing will share in the reward of the harvest. My child, if this message touched your heart, if you saw my hand in your family, if you felt my presence as these words reached you, then do not remain silent. Declare it in the comments. Share this message and subscribe now so that together we may reach 100,000 voices giving glory to my name. Rejoice, for this is not the end. It is the beginning of a movement, the beginning of testimonies multiplied, the beginning of families awakened to my protection and my purpose. You are part of this, and I have chosen you to carry this word further. Now rise, my child, walk in faith, live in gratitude, testify with boldness, and take action to spread this message of hope, protection, and deliverance. For I, the Lord your God, am with you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. Write in the comments now, I choose faith. My family is covered. I subscribe to spread this word. And as you do, watch how heaven opens, watch how blessings multiply, and watch how my glory fills your house.